Hey yo, what up, duelists? This is your boy Dennis Freeman Jr. here. So today I have got a new video for you which will talk about the September 2013 TCG Forbidden Limited card list. Now, for those of you who have seen the previous ban list though, note that that list is only for the OCG and the TCG has an entirely different one, as you'll notice that a couple of things about it are different. One is that typically the list is changed I'm sorry, is changed every 6 months between April and September. And in the case of this list though, this list is only effective from September 1st of this year until December 31st, showing though that it looks like the TCG is going to be releasing their Forbidden Limited card list quarterly as opposed to twice a year like the OCG does. And another noticeable difference is that some of the cards vary on the list, so you're going to see things that you didn't see in the OCG or even vice versa. So I'm going to run down the list though and give you my thoughts on what the cards are though and what my opinions are. So first off, we already know that Burner, Dragon Ruler of Sparks, Lightning, Dragon Ruler of Drafts, Reactant, Dragon Ruler of Pebbles, and Stream, Dragon Ruler of Droplets are banned. And I think that that's a good thing because given the fact though of how at the World Championship and even a number of tournaments people have been spamming the hell out of Dragon Ruler decks though, I think that it has of course weakened the deck considerably though. And truth be told, I mean, people could still run Dragon Rulers, but I can't guarantee though how good they'll run without their baby counterparts helping to get them on the field though. So but I think that that's a very good thing though, because Dragon Rulers are becoming a real headache. Now, this next change right here is actually for the TCG though. Now, Elemental Hero Stratos has been banned. Now, Elemental Hero Stratos, of course, you know that its effect is that when it's normal summon, flip summon, or special summon, you can activate one of these effects. You can add a hero card from your deck to your hand, or you can destroy a number of spell or traps on the field equal to, well, up to the number of hero monsters that you control aside from this card. And I think it was kind of interesting though that they did ban Stratos though, because when I would play against certain decks that ran off of Elemental Hero the Shining and using cards like Elemental Hero Neos Alias, if you knew that your opponent played an E-Emergency call and then turn around and add Stratos due to its effect and then normal summoning, you're already getting two Elemental Heroes for the price of one though. So while it was somewhat of a surprise though, I'm not feeling bad though that Stratos got banned. And then another new TCG ban that they did was number 16, Shockmaster. Now this one completely knocked me for a loop because actually I love Shockmaster. I actually have two of them, but truth be told though, I haven't used any of them in the deck. I just play with them on Dueling Network on my Lightsworn deck. But Shockmaster was kind of surprising though, because I mean, yeah, you have to overlay 3 level 4 monsters to Xyz summon it, and sure, it's got that effect of where it can stop monsters, spells, or traps until the end phase of your next turn. But I guess that I really didn't peg it as being that dangerous of a card though, because I felt like it could still be overcome though. But I guess that maybe with the way that certain decks are, or with certain cards coming out, that it was going to make the card even more lethal than what it was supposed to be. So that one was a complete surprise to me, because when I saw it, I was like, what? And then another card that was newly banned is Card Destruction. Now, Card Destruction, this surprised me though, but then again, not too much when I stopped to think about it, because one deck though that would really hate to lose Card Destruction is Dark Worlds, because there is nothing more scarier or more upsetting than your opponent playing a card destruction with their Dark World deck, and they got a crap ton of Dark Worlds in their hand, and they're getting a bunch of effects though because they played that card. So I can understand its banning. And then Gateway of the Six, that's another newly banned card in the TCG. Now Gateway of the Six I can understand though, because Six Samurai decks, that's often one of their key. That's pretty much their key card, though, aside from Six Samurai United or Shein Smoke Signal. Because Gateway, though, at least this way, though, is preventing your opponent from constantly summoning Six Sams and constantly adding more Six Sams to the hand. And then later special summoning and all that kind of stuff. So that really kind of slows the deck down somewhat, though. But I'm really curious to see how 6 Sam decks are probably going to thrive off of this. Now, this next card really surprised. These next two cards are really going to have really surprised me, though, as I'm sure they would with you. Is they banned both Heavy Storm and Monster Reborn. Now, when I saw that, I was like, now that was a real WTF moment, really, because I'm like, these cards, I mean, they're both incredibly strong, though, and their effects are powerful with no inherent drawbacks, though. So I can probably see the reason why, though, because Heavy Storm, though, yeah, I mean, especially if you were the type of person to go first, you could set a couple of cards, and then you could just hope, though, that your opponent doesn't have a heavy in their hand and blow your stuff up. And then Monster Reborn, I mean, heck, you're reviving a monster from either player's graveyard free of charge, so I guess that it was probably a matter of time before that card got banned again. So if it'll ever become unbanned, I don't know. So people are probably going to start running more Call the Haunteds in their decks to compensate for it. I mean, but shoot, if you're going to ban Monster Reborn and everything, they should have gave us Premature Burial back. And then Pot of Avarice was banned. Now this one I was completely surprised about, because Pot of Avarice, it is a good card, though. Yeah, you return 5 monsters from your grave back into your deck, shuffle and draw 2 cards. But it really didn't seem all that dangerous of a card, though, to even limit. I mean, well, maybe to limit, but the fact to ban, though, because I mean, it's not like you run across that card commonly, though. But hey. It's the TCG. What can you do? Now, Super Rejuvenation, that card was banned, though, which is good, though, because when you play against a Dragon Ruler deck and you think your opponent has worn down their hand, though, because they were constantly discarding and special summoning monsters, and then wait a minute, they play a Super Rejuvenation and they get to replenish their hand with the same number of cards that they discarded for the turn that they played the card, yeah, Dragon Rulers just pretty much got kicked in the teeth yet again. And then Spellbook of Judgment, though, that's another card that I'm glad is banned, though, because spellbooks, I mean, like, each of the spellbooks have unique effects, which are interesting enough. But Spellbook of Judgment, though, man, has to be the most ridiculously broken spellbook card that I have ever seen, because, I mean, it's almost like their own version of Super Rejuvenation in a way, though, because you're constantly drawing adding spellbook spell cards from your deck to your hand equal to the number of spell cards that were played since its activation. So I'm not feeling bad, though, about them banning Spellbook of Judgment, though. So far this list has considerably weakened both Dragon Rulers and Prophecy decks. And then a TCG change, they had banned Solemn Judgment. So Solemn Judgment, though, hey, I can see where they went with that one, though, because that card is ridiculously strong, though, and the fact that you pay half your life points to negate the summon of a monster or the activation of a spell or trap card, though, I mean, is very good and more dangerous than Solemn Warning, which and then Ultimate Offering, they banned that because that card, I mean, if you had gadget decks, though, that's another ridiculous card, because you don't want to be seeing like a green gadget, red gadget, yellow gadget, another green gadget, another red gadget, another yellow gadget, and to be over-exceed summoning and all that, though. So hey, I'm glad they banned that card. So that's all the forbidden cards. So for newly limited cards, they limited Atlantean Dragoons. I'm not a big fan of Mermail and Atlantean decks, though, but I can see the reason why they limited Dragoons, so curious to see how that deck is going to survive in this format. Another card that they limited was Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Spirit. Now, Spirit, I can see why they limited that, though, because it is a powerful card, though. But one thing to notice, though, is that in the OCG list, though, they limited Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Rooster. Now, I didn't know if that was like a mistake or something, because I think that I didn't know if they meant Spirit, though. But if it truly is like that in the case, though, Rooster isn't limited at all in the TCG, so you can run a full play set of 3. And I am working on building a Fire Fist deck, so you know I'm about to be crazy with that deck. And then Deep Sea Diva, that's a newly limited card, as well as Gen X Ally Birdman. And then another card though and then two other cards in the TCG that they specifically limited was Rescue Rabbit and Thunder King Ryo. Now Rescue Rabbit, yeah, I can see why, because with those Evil Swarm decks, at least this way, you don't have to worry about Ophion appearing, at least with that one card though, because that one card will pretty much guarantee you an Ophion in that same turn. And then Ryo, yeah, well, he already speaks for himself. I ain't even gonna go into detail about it. And then other newly limited cards is Evagishki Mind August and Duloran Tiger King of the Ice Barrier. And then Constellar Ptolemy M7 is a now limited card, which I'm a little surprised about though, because I mean I know his effect though, but I didn't think that he would be that broken to the point to where people would just limit him though, but hey. And then Dimensional Fissure and Gold Sarcophagus, those are a couple of other two limited cards. And then some more. We have Royal Tribute and Bottomless Trap Hole. Bottomless Trap Hole. Yeah, that's gonna make a lot of duelists happy or upset, depending on which side of the table you're on. And then Royal Tribute, though, this will definitely be a blow to Gravekeepers, though, because at least this way, though, if your opponent's packing a Necro Valley on the field, there's a slim chance they may have a Royal Tribute in their hand. And then they also limited Compulsory Evacuation Device, as well as Eradicator Epidemic Virus and Macrocosmos. All three are dangerous trap cards, in my opinion. So I'm glad that they limited. I'm glad that they limited Eradicator Epidemic and Macrocosmos, but not so much with Compulsory. And then Soul Drain, that's been reduced to 1. And finally, Torrential Tribute. And for newly semi-limited cards, we have Plague Spreader Zombie, which is rather interesting because I can see zombie decks making a comeback, and with Mizuki now at 2, this also makes zombie decks something to look out for in this upcoming format. And this next addition to the semi-limited list, which I'm really happy about, is they made Tech Genus, aka TG Striker, semi-limited. So I'm glad though. So now that gives my TG deck some of its back. But I'm curious to see though how it'll work in this new format, so I'm looking forward to that. And then Fire Formation Tanky has been reduced to 2 for obvious reasons. And then Dimensional Prison, that's been cut down to 2. And then finally, for newly unlimited cards, you have Destiny Hero Malicious, the Agent of Mystery Earth, Tsukuyomi, A Hero Lives, Black Whirlwind, which made me really happy though, because I run a Blackwing deck and I've been waiting a long time for Black Whirlwind to at least be semi-limited, but the fact that it's unlimited, I'm about to go banana sandwich with that deck. And then Emergency Call is at 3 now, so hence the reason why they probably banned Stratos, because it would just seem too broken, I guess, to have a Stratos and 3 Emergency Calls. And then finally, the last few unlimited cards is Heroic Seal of Convocation, Pot of Duality, and Scapegoat, all of which are powerful cards. And so I'm just really curious to see though how these cards are going to do the format. So this format so far though, it has surprised me, if not amazed me a little bit, but more so surprised me though. And I mean, this is completely different, though, because this is different than the usual formula of what Konami would do with their list, though, because, like I said, they normally change it twice a year, but instead, in the TCG, it's going to be 4 times a year. So I'm really curious to see how this format will do and what the next list will look like come January. So anyway, though, just submit to me any of your comments or what you think about the new list, though, and what kind of decks do you think you might be running under this format, and what decks you think might thrive, and which ones you think may not. But anyway, duelists, until next time, though, this is Dennis Freeman Jr. signing off. Peace.